Yo guys, it's the coach. Just checking in right now because I'm pumped. I'm mid power sesh. It's 22:17 on a Tuesday evening. I've got up early this morning. I've hit it hard, and I'm hitting it hard this evening. And I'm just thinking through. I was on the Snap, looking through some of the messages I've got on Snapchat about just all the things you've been doing and how some of the stuff's been helping you, the motivational stuff and the practical tips as well, especially on the voice recordings on Snapchat. Anybody who's sent me an individual snap on Snapchat will know about that. And I love doing it. It really does. It really does keep me going, and I feed off it big time. And it's one of the reasons why I love doing this work. This stuff I can get up early for and stay up late. But I know that it's not as easy to do that when you're revising for your exams. I know that because I know that when I was revising for some of my exams, there was content on there, there was bits of it that I wasn't entirely passionate about. I didn't really care that much about. I knew I had to remember this information. I was passionate about that. I was passionate about getting the grade, but I wasn't passionate about the journey in between that. I wasn't passionate about at times learning that content, putting in the hours, putting in the work I knew was necessary for me to get the thing I wanted at the end of it, which was that grade, A-Town, all that stuff. But sometimes I just didn't feel like it. And when you're doing something you love, like I'm doing right now, you can do that easily because you're passionate about everything you do. But I know with exams, it's slightly more difficult. So the first thing I want you to do is Google this. This can be some reading for you in between a break. It doesn't take long, probably about 2 minutes. I want you to Google Stanford Marshmallow Experiment and read about that. It's about delayed gratification. And what I want you to know is that by cruising, by keeping going and dipping over that finish line at the end of this exam season, you're playing for 50 marshmallows. You're not playing for one. You're delaying gratification because you know that, you could go out on that night where, the film, the business studies and the art people or whoever have the exams earliest this year, I don't know, have finished and they're going out and they're celebrating, and you've still got 2 exams left, but you decide to throw the towel in early and go out, and you're going to take 2 bogeys on the scorecard if you do that. And it's about delayed gratification. You've got to realise you're playing for 50 marshmallows. You're playing big time. You're playing the long game here. The next thing is look for the peak experiences. Like right now, you're in work mode. Commit to that. Commit to work mode. You've only got to what? It's not long left at all now to press on through. And don't break that up with something that you're going to look back on and say, hey, I could have kept pushing. It's like that athlete who knew they had a bit more in the tank to give down that last 250, 200, but they didn't kick early enough. They didn't back themselves and they didn't keep going all the way to the end. And that's what you've got to do now. And the peak experiences as well that I'm talking about is that summer holiday is going to be so much better if you know that you've actually stuck to what you said you were going to do, that you executed and followed through on all those revision sessions and all those exam performances. Keep your head down. Keep going. It's like climbing a mountain. You don't look at the top. You just look down and you watch those steps go by and by and by, and before you know it, there's a beautiful view in front of you, and that is the summer holidays. It's not far away now, so keep cracking on. Keep your head down, keep cruising. That's the second thing. The third thing is references. You've got to think of these exams as building a hugely powerful reference for you to put your finger on. When you look back at this, when you're 22, 23, 24, and you might be having a hard time finding a job, or you're in the job and you've got a tough piece of work on, you've got to have something that you can actually point to. You can put your finger on it and say, this is when I worked hard. This is when I delivered and I got this. And so many people don't have that. They've missed this opportunity to set up this reference for themselves, this huge reference that they can point back to and say, that is when I worked hard. That's when I did X, Y, and Z and I got this result. And if they don't do that, you've got nothing that you can put you unless you've done it in some other field. I don't know, you may have, but what I'm saying is exams are the perfect opportunity to do this. So those are the three things that I think could really just help you play the long game, because that's what we're all about here. A-Town is all about playing the long game. It's not about playing for those short-term little wins that the D-Towner plays for, because they like playing, you know, they'll go and play that COD session on a night before the exams because they need that break. Don't take those short-term wins. They're not worth it in the long run. Play the long game. Delay that gratification, because when it all plays out, that big bit of gratification you get at the end of the summer, around August time, when you've played out everything as planned, it compared to, you know, that night when you played COD, or you watched that favourite series, or you went out and did something with your friends when really, deep down, you knew you should have been hitting the books. You're not going to remember that. That's a little short-term win. It's a pinprick. What is big is that long-term win. And you're also going to remember those peak experiences that you have, where you played out the game plan throughout the exam season, and then you had a cracking time in the summer. You didn't have anything lingering in the back of your mind where you thought, oh, actually, I didn't do very well in that physics exam because I was up till 3 Facebooking the night before. And build those references. Right now, you're building for the future. It may not feel like it, but I guarantee you, when you've got those exams under your belt, you're going to feel a little bit more self-assured, a little bit more confident. Crack on. Let's hit A-Town. Keep your head down. Remember that mountain, step by step. And before you know it, you'll be at the top. You'll be looking over the valley. A-Town will be in the middle just there. And D-Town, you'll be looking over that shoulder, left shoulder. You'll be looking over that. And it'll be far in the distance, way away. Down in, I don't even know where D-Town is. I don't have much time for it, to be honest. But it's not here. That's all I know. Keep cracking on. Nail it. Have a good power sesh tonight.